Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to our webinar on the Canada Digital Adoption Program, or CDAP. I'm Scott McCammon, President and CEO of the Milton Chamber of Commerce, and it's our pleasure to host this webinar. And I know you're going to find it informative, and we're very fortunate to have three special guests with us today. Format-wise, I'm going to introduce the speakers, and then each of them will give their presentations. Following their presentations, then we can do a Q&A. You should be able to enter your questions into the Q&A box at the bottom of your Zoom screen, and then I can ask the questions of the panelists. So with that, it's my pleasure to introduce first Julian Charbonneau, who is the Senior Outreach and Partnerships Officer for ISED. And ISED is Innovation, Science, and Economic Development Canada. And then we have from Cybersecure Canada, which is a part of ISED as well, Mathurin Halawi, who is a senior economist with Cybersecure Canada program. And finally, someone that's known to most of us here in Milton, Richard Bolton is the owner of Centricity 360, and Richard has been appointed by CDAP to be one of their digital advisors here in our area. So with that, I want to welcome our three speakers, and I'm going to ask Julian to speak first, and then Julian can turn it over after that to Mathurin. So Julian, over to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. Thank you for the invitation. So my presentation is going to be around 20 minutes on the Canada Digital Adoption Program, and after that, I'll let Mathurin and Richard speak as well on their program as well. And let's start. And I think we're going to do Q&As after. So let me just share my screen. Perfect. All right. So the Canada Digital Adoption Program, or CDAP, as we call it. So the CDAP aims to close the digitalization gap between Canadian businesses and their global competitor. So during the pandemic, businesses were lacking in terms of digitalization, were negatively affected. So in the budget 2021, the government of Canada announced a $1.4 billion investment over 4 years to support economic recovery. In the same budget, the government announced a $2.6 billion investment for the BDC to provide an interest-free loan to SMEs to help them implement their digital transformation. All in all, the program aims to help 160,000 small and medium-sized businesses. There's also a funded work placement component for young Canadians, so we're aiming to help 28,000 young Canadians through a funded work placement program within CDAP. The program is built with two distinct streams. So we have grant. Use the word stream or grant sort of interchangeably, but we have two different grant, which are basically, we have different mandate. Today we'll cover the Boost Your Business Technology grant a bit more, but I will be talking about our first grant for our smaller grant for smaller businesses. And I'll cover that up in the presentation. So basically, the objective of the program, well, it's quite easy. It's quite simple. We want to increase SME productivity and competitiveness. We want to help them maintain and grow their revenue and market share. Like I mentioned, there's a work placement component, so we want to support training and job placement for young Canadian, and we want to help SMEs access the digital marketplace. So here you have a good side-by-side of the two grant that we offer. So like I mentioned, we're going to talk mostly about the Boost Your Business Technology grant today, but I will mention the Grow Your Business Online quickly. So the Grow Your Business Online grant is handled by different local intermediaries across the country. So you can start your application directly on our website or on the intermediary website. So we're talking about a micro grant up to $2,400. to help small consumer-facing business improve their e-commerce capabilities. So basically what we want to do is we want to help those small businesses who have maybe they have a website, but they don't have a Shopify platform, or maybe they have a very limited presence online. Maybe they don't even have a website. So what we want to do is we want to give them a little push, a little help of $2,400 to help them either improve their UX or develop a website. We do that through e-commerce advisors. So those e-commerce advisors are those young Canadians. So we're talking about 11,200 job placement for young Canadian who becomes e-commerce advisor. These e-commerce advisor will do an audit of the business in terms of e-commerce capabilities, and then from there they're going to recommend the best solution for the business. So it could be as simple as you should improve the UX of your website and implement a Shopify platform, as I mentioned. So to be eligible for this grant, you need to be a consumer-facing business, so B2C, not B2B, and and there's other eligibility criteria on the website. But if you want to have more information on this grant, I recommend you to go on our website, on the CDAP website, and you'll be able to see all of the details about this grant and how to apply. All right, so now let's talk about the Boost Your Business Technology Grant. So I guess the bigger component of the program. So we're talking about $70,000 grant to a maximum value of $15,000. And that is for advisory services to help business develop a digital adoption plan. We have a network, so we want to give businesses access to our network of Canadian digital advisors. We have more than 1,000 digital advisors across the country with different expertise, different industry and sector of experience that they've worked with. So we have a very vast network of very competent digital advisor across the country. Once a business has their digital adoption plan in hand, they can also apply for an interest-free BDC loan to help them execute their plan. And there's, once again, the funded work placement component for SMEs. So there's a wage subsidy for the SMEs who are undertaking that digital transformation. So there's a wage subsidy to hire someone to help them undertake that digital transformation. So the Boost Your Business Technology Grant, the eligibility criteria. So to be eligible for this grant, businesses need to be sole proprietor or business incorporated the laws of Canada, a province or territory, need to be for-profit, privately owned, full-time equivalent employee between 1 and 499. There's a minimum revenue component to this grant as well. So to be eligible for this grant, you need to have a minimum revenue of $500,000 and making less than $100 million of annual revenue in one of the previous 3 years. So basically that is to account for the pandemic. So there's that minimum component of revenue, and there's also, you need to meet all the requirements to be deemed a Canadian controlled private corporation. So subsidiary of an international business would not be eligible. So the journey map. So the client journey map for CDAP, well, it's quite simple. So it starts on our website. From there, you can see you have all the information on the grant, the eligibility criteria as well. So if you think you're eligible, you can start the application process directly on our website. I'm really happy to say that CDAP is the first program that is linked directly with CRA. So we're able to verify your financial information. So the 500,000 minimum annual revenue, and then within the application process. So because we're linked directly with CRA, you can know right away if you're accepted or not into the program. The application process takes around 30 minutes. So it's extremely fast. So the time for a business, it's very minimal to apply to CDAP. It is meant to be that way. I know some of other government program, the application process can be very tedious and long, and it can take weeks or a month to receive your answer. So that's why CDAP, we don't do any qualitative analysis of the business. We really just If you meet all of the eligibility criteria, then you are eligible for the grant. So in your application process, you will be asked to answer to fill the digital need assessment tool. So it's basically our DNA tool that we call it, and that is to help you and further down the line your digital advisor to help you determine the best determine your digital readiness and maturity level. So basically, to understand a bit better where you are in your digitalization journey. So once you are accepted into the program, you will have access to CDAP Digital Advisor Marketplace. So basically, all of our digital advisors, you will have access to this list of Canadian digital advisor that you can work with. So depending on the sector that you're in, or depending on your goal and your strategy. So do you want to improve digital marketing? Do you want to improve cybersecurity? Do you want to implement an ERP, a CRM? Depending on what you want to do, you can choose different advisor that you want to work with. You can also choose advisors in your area, or you can choose advisors that are across the country if you want, just because they have a specific expertise that you're looking for. So once you have access to that digital marketplace of digital advisor, you will choose a digital advisor to work with. Once you have that, you choose a digital advisor to work with, then you guys can sit down together, and then you're going to agree on a cost and scope of that digital adoption plan. The cost and the scope of the digital adoption plan can vary depending on what you want to do. So depending on the, in line with your business goal and strategy. So as I mentioned, do you want to focus, let's say, solely on digital marketing, or you want to, do a whole digital transformation, a whole digital adoption plan that will encompass cybersecurity and administrative services plus digital marketing. So that's why the cost and the scope of that digital adoption plan can vary. So once the business and the digital advisor agree on the cost and scope of that digital adoption plan, the digital advisor will do an audit of the business in terms of digital capabilities. That audit, it's a very in-depth audit of the business. I think we're going to have a bit more information on that soon in the presentation. Well, my colleagues are going to explain a bit more that component. But so once the business digital advisor proceed to do that audit of the business, they're going to write down that digital adoption plan. So basically a tailored solution for the business in terms of technology needed to acquire and talent needed to hire to implement that digital transformation. So once the plan is complete, the digital advisor will give it to the business. The SME will then submit the digital adoption plan to the program with the invoice, and then the program will disperse the money so the company can pay the digital advisor. Because everything is within the program, the parameters of the program, we don't ask businesses to pay upfront for the digital advisors. And also, I just want to mention that, because that's a question that I get a lot, is can I work with any company that I've worked with in the past? To be eligible for the $15,000 grant, you need to work with a business, with a digital advisor that is in the marketplace. You cannot work with any digital advisor or any consultant of your choice and then ask for the $15,000. And we pay up to $15,000 because we cover 90% of the cost of that digital adoption plan up to $15,000. So if a digital adoption plan is $10,000, then we're going to pay $9,000 and the business will pay $1,000 for it. So once the business has a digital adoption plan in hand, the SME can apply for an interest-free BDC loan to help them execute their plan. So the BDC loan is an optional component of the program. You don't have to apply for the loan, but it's an interest-free loan. It's a 5-year term, nothing to pay in the first 12 months, no guarantee that needs to be put down by the company. And the BDC obviously has their solvability criteria as well when you apply, but usually if you're eligible for the grant, because we sort of established the eligibility criteria of the program sort of in line with BDC to make sure that businesses who apply will be eligible to receive a grant, you should be good. And then finally, business who participate in the Boost Your Business technology will be eligible to hire a student or a recent graduate in a relevant field to help them implement their plan. So let's say you want to hire someone to help you with your digital marketing. You will get a wage subsidy of $7,300 to hire someone to help you with that. So I think that covers most of that covers the program. So the client journey map. Now I'm just going to go through certain component of the program just quickly, just to go over a certain aspect of it. So the DNA tool, so that digital need assessment tool. So it's within your application process. That's you to help you identify your current digital capabilities and need, to discover potential improvement, to begin to define a digital roadmap, and to help you evaluate and prioritize investment. So the role of the digital advisor, I think I covered that, but the digital advisors are really expert in their field. They will do an in-depth analysis of your business in terms of your digital capabilities, and really identify how digital adoption can support your business goal and strategy. They will write down that digital adoption plan with a sort of a journey map to help you understand how digital adoption will to sort of help you along your transformation journey, your digital transformation journey. So the BDC loan, I covered that. One thing that I want to mention is there's right now 5 other programs that are pre-recognized by CDAP. So the BDC Digital Advisory Services and the 4 other program, 1 in Quebec and 3 on the East Coast, are pre-recognized by CDAP as being sort of valid digital adoption program. So if a company has a digital adoption plan from one of these pre-recognized program, they can be fast-tracked directly to the BDC loan. They don't have to go through the digital advisor directly. And finally, the funded work placement component, I covered that. So once again, it's the $7,300 for the businesses in wage subsidy to help them hire a student or a recent graduate to help them implement that transformation. So once again, all of the information on the program is available on our website. There's a contact us tile on our website as well. So should you have more questions, you can always reach out to us directly there. So that's it for me. I'll let my colleagues speak, and thank you for listening to my presentation today.
Thank you, Julian. And I'm going to share my screen here. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, looks good.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Okay. So I'm going to start here. So good morning, everyone. Thank you, Richard, and President Scott and the Chamber of Commerce for this opportunity to present Cybersecure Canada program. We'll chat about cybersecurity, how a cyber attack can potentially impact your business. Our goal is for folks to live today with a sense of how they can start or continue working to better protect themselves, their businesses. I'll share some tools and resources available for them to support them on their cybersecurity journey. So we'll take the question at the end. So thank you for that again, Scott. First of all, I think it's appropriate to make to review the link between digital adoption technologies and cybersecurity. So adopting digital technology has many advantages, such as increasing efficiency, productivity, saving cost, improving communications, and so on. So much more flexibility in the end, increasing competitiveness. As with anything else, there are some risks associated with digital adoption. To name some of them, there are security breaches. As digital advisors and systems are storing more and more data, they become prime target for hackers. So data loss is a risk as well, and the reputational losses, financial losses. So it's just like building a house and forgetting to add locks. So you for sure expecting bad visitors that you don't want them to come to your house. So it's just like cybersecurity. By adding locks, it's like considering security controls to be added to your technologies digital technologies you just adopted. So that's the reason why we want to support your business get ready to minimize the cyber attack impacts. So basically, this is our program, What Cybersecure Canada. It's the only, Cybersecure Canada is the only cybersecurity certification program. It was established in 2019 and designed with small and medium-sized organizations in mind. I mean, small and medium-sized organization, we follow the definition of Statistics Canada, which says that any organization with less than 500 employees. So the program goals are to improve cybersecurity baseline, to raise awareness and educate Canadians about cybersecurity, and to increase consumers' confidence in the digital economy. So those are the program objectives. And Cybersecure Canada is a voluntary. It's voluntary. No business is obliged to adopt this certification, and it's based on 13 security controls that an organization has to implement and achieve compliance against to reduce their cyber risk. These controls were developed by our partner, the Canadian Center for Cybersecurity, and are considered industry best practices. Our second program partner is Standard Council of Canada, and this organization oversees the accreditation of certification bodies, the program auditors. We have 3 of them. I'll present them on my next on other slides. So when you adopt Cybersecure Canada, you support Canada's national cybersecurity strategy. So why should we care? Why is cybersecurity important? Globally, we've seen cyber attacks increasing during the pandemic, and FBI says that it's over 300% increase. So, and the cyber attacks are becoming more and more pervasive and damaging to our economy and digital system, social system, sorry. So Canadian businesses are noticing an increase. And as of 2 days ago, Statistics Canada released a report on the data that they collected from January to March 2022. It shows that 16% of small businesses, 25% of medium-sized businesses, and 37% of large businesses reported being affected by cybersecurity incident in 2021. So it's also in global news. You can check that out. So the impact, as I said, are much more devastating than a couple of years ago, where it's just a ransomware or something like that. So it's becoming very, very critical. So why do we choose to focus on small and medium-sized organizations? That's because small and medium-sized organizations have a significant impact on Canadian economy. 98% of Canadian enterprises are small and medium-sized, and they employ close to 16 million workers and contribute up to 50% of our GDP. So that's one of the key reasons, because of this impact that they have on our economy. And so I would also mention why small and medium-sized organizations are increasingly targeted by hackers. I'll name a couple of reasons that Canadian Chamber of Commerce came up with last year. So they say that small and medium-sized organizations often lack IT resources and are less equipped to handle an attack. And small and medium-sized organizations are known to be less equipped, finally. And based on Canadian Insurance Bureau of Canada's survey that came up last year, 2021, that survey revealed that 47% of small businesses are reporting having no budget allocated to cybersecurity. 47%, that's huge. And the second reason is that data hackers want, credit cards, credentials, intellectual property, and so on and so forth, are often less guarded on small and medium-sized organizations' systems. The third reason is that small and medium-sized organizations value chain with large organizations provide hackers with access, backdoor access to the supply chain, to the entire supply chain, so including large targets. So that's one of the third reason that the Chamber of Commerce, Canadian Chamber of Commerce provide us with. So we can see that there are risks. That's the reason why, again, we want to focus on on small and medium-sized organizations. So it's important, it's critically very important for businesses to protect their businesses and the citizens against cyber attacks. So one of the reasons or solutions is to implement our controls. So what are these controls? Here they are. Cyber Secure Canada security controls. They include a mix of technical and non-technical based controls. I'll name a couple of them because you will have access to these slide deck and go through them all. And also Richard, the digital advisor here, will provide you with much more details. We have developed some tools that he will share with you, the checklist. So just to name a couple of them. So let's take develop an incident response plan. These control help businesses in case of cyber attack. So it's good to know in case of cyber attack, who will be responsible of the event, and who are you going to notify, customers, vendors, and how are you going to do that. And also it shows how you have to restore system and data and come back with strongly to make sure that you are prepared for, I would say, unlikely next time. It will still happening, unfortunately. But if you have these controls in place, you are well prepared and be able to minimize the impact. So also I'll name the second control, another control, which is to provide employee awareness training. Human error is a key component of cybersecurity breaches. It's essential to have training on malicious emails. We receive them all every day. And it's good also to know what kind of links we shouldn't click on. It's very critical. So our controls include this requirement, provide training, awareness training to employees. So any company can choose to implement this control and get certified, or they can select to implement a couple of them and how they see fit based on their needs. We have developed e-learning series that I will mention very soon. We have a slide deck on that one as well. I'm going to quickly share with you the process to get certified. This diagram exhibits the pathway an organization will follow to become certified. The first step is to prepare to implement the controls I just mentioned, and then complete our e-learning modules. If the e-learning modules I will present are very easy to follow. As I said, there are technical and non-technical controls. So based on your capacity, anybody can implement the controls because we have tools and so on. So if your business does not have a capacity to implement these controls, you can consider IT consultant like digital advisor, like Richard, if they have expertise, then they can provide you with much more support to do so. So there are funding programs available to cover these controls, to how to implement them. And like Richard, Gillian mentioned a couple of their program earlier. So in addition to these implementing controls, the next step is to implement the control themselves. This is where the bulk of the work will take place. You will work to develop these policies. I mean, there are policies and internal processes to meet the audit criteria. And furthermore, you will have to select a certification body. There are three. You see them: Bulletproof Solution, located in Fredericton, Cybersecurity Canada in Toronto, and then Bureau de Normalisation du Québec in Quebec, and they accept both languages request. So any business, French or English, you can talk to these certification bodies. So once you implement these controls and select your certification body, they'll come to run an audit. It's not a physical audit, it's a desktop audit, and they will be able to ask you a couple of questions and make sure that you have the evidence that you have implemented these controls. So that's the process. And then once successful, they will notify us, I mean, our department, and then we will provide you with the certification mark, which is valid for 2 years. And certification mark signal, you see that on the left at the bottom on my slide here. That certification mark signal to customers, investors, partners, and suppliers that your organization takes cybersecurity seriously and has made the standard approved by the Standard Council of Canada that you have taken any kind of steps to decrease cyber risk, such as protecting your IP and your reputation and so on and so forth. So it provides an official recognition that government recognized cybersecurity controls have been put in place. So at this point, I suppose you want to know how much that cost. The cost of certification, I mean, the audit part to the certification, depend on various factors, such as the number of assets at play, how many computers, how many devices are interconnected, and how many business locations do you have? It depends. So the bulk part at this point we've seen is that certification costs goes from 2,000 to 5,000. That's not including the indirect costs to implement these controls. And these, like the cost to implement these controls, are eligible under CDAP, the program that Julian mentioned. So I'll provide you with a couple of testimonials. We had clients that are willing to provide us with testimonials. I'll just give one of these examples. Timin Mechanical in Northern Ontario mechanical shop. They say that since certification, the company has secured more work, and their clients see that the information will be secured when they work with Timin Mechanical. So this is a great value addition to them. So we have other testimonials that you can read later. Here is our e-learning series that we have. Anyway, we launched last year in November. It's a part of our program that we are very excited to share with businesses. It consists of 14 bilingual free online modules, and each on each of our security controls. So you need to implement these. You go make sure that you go through all these modules to learn a lot, and then implement the controls. Each module takes approximately 20 to 60 minutes to complete. And the modules can be completed as a standalone or as a complete series. And you can stop and come back with your credentials, or if you don't want to use your credentials, then you come back easily to complete them. So the modules contain real-life case studies, examples, short quizzes to test your knowledge, and also include additional resources to support businesses with their cybersecurity journey. So for example, if you consider the module of developing an incident response plan, that includes the template. There are templates that will help you prepare your response plan, how or who to talk to when things happen. So those templates are there and free for use. And now these are the programs. Julian discussed presented the digital adoption program. And there is another one here also that's delivered through National Research Council, IRAP, Industrial Research Application Program. That one is like films that in eligible client of NRC can receive up to 25 hours consulting delivered by INSECEM, which is a not-for-profit organization in cybersecurity ecosystem. And the third program I would mention is to use the regional development agencies programs through their the economic growth through innovation program that is supporting businesses implement controls as well. So, but I would recommend you strongly to talk to your digital advisor. And we have a great tool that they can use to make sure that you have or you don't have or what you have implemented as security control, and then support you on that one. So your digital advisor will help you in that. And the program, Canada Digital Adoption Program, is the best program at this point from what I'm seeing here to use, because you have all the steps all clear. And then finally, so I would mention the Cyber Secure Canada partner package. We have developed packages, a partner package that you can use. We have our e-learning series there. We have a portal, the certification tools. We have blog series and so on. There is a lot of resources that you can use, and they are all linked to our partners, such as Canada Center of Cybersecurity. So I encourage you to use these tools. And finally, this is my last slide. And then my recommendations are to use Cybersecure Canada as a tool to de-risk your business. So by using these, we see that for these clients I just mentioned, they provide us with testimonials on what are the benefits, and there are many benefits. So I strongly recommend you to use our program to de-risk your business. And I mean, now we're seeing that cybersecurity is not only an IT problem, it's not an IT challenge. It concerns the whole business risk. So we've seen also that stakeholders are using more and more cybersecurity as one of the criteria to select partners. So please use these tools to de-risk your business. So this is the end of my presentation, and thank you very much. We'll take questions later. Thank you, Richard. Back to you. Over to you. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Mathurin. Appreciate the presentation. It was terrific. You know, the one thing about the digital adoption plans under CDAP is I think it's really important for small, medium-sized businesses today to ensure we're protecting ourselves against, you know, some of the malicious attacks that are going on out there. And I think that Mathurin's program is a really fantastic one. So I hope you all take advantage of the fact that the you know, the free modules are there for us to use, and to make sure that, you know, our businesses are certified in terms of any types of malicious attacks. And I also want to thank Julian as well too for presenting today on the CDAP program. I think it's a fantastic program, which is why I've had Centricity invest time in terms of making sure that we're digital advisors. As Scott said at the beginning, my name is Richard Bolton. I'm one of the senior consultants and owner of Centricity 360, and I'm here to kind of give you a perspective of what CDAP looks like from a digital advisor's perspective. So how I've structured the presentation today is just to really go through some of the questions that I hear from CDAP clients who have approached me and are looking for a digital adoption plan. So I'm going to take you through my presentation for the next 10 or 15 minutes and just go through some of the questions that I've heard. So, you know, off the top, you know, what is digital has been a question to me in terms of, and I promise I won't be a nerd and tell you it's all about zeros and ones, but it is really about using electronics and computerized technologies in our business today. It's changing our business processes to be more fully online and automating some of those processes. It's new ways of engaging customers through digital technology, and finding ways that we can develop more revenue online. So what is a digital business? I get asked quite a bit. They really rely on technologies to operate and grow today. You know, one of the things that I've noticed from a lot of the CDAP clients that have approached me is, and I'm giving you these business business processes examples, sort of in the order in which I've been hearing them from over the last couple of months. So companies have been coming to me because they are looking to be more efficient in their inventory management by automating it. So they possibly are still using pen and paper, Excel spreadsheets for tracking their manufacturing. They're looking for digital marketing strategies that can really help them drive results, to drive revenue, to build a bigger customer base, for brand recognition is one of the big ones as well too. I find a lot of companies looking to integrate their systems right across their entire company. So maybe they might have a POS system, but don't have a manufacturing system or accounting system, and they're looking to integrate those systems together. I've heard a lot about data analytics and AI. for better data-driven decision-making is one of the ones that's really been coming to the top as well too. And it's not just, big companies who are looking to do that. It's small companies looking to invest in understanding more about all the data they're collecting and what they could do to provide their customers with better service, better products. So that's kind of fascinating to see as well too. You see a lot about automation around their customers, so CRM applications, marketing automation they're looking to implement. And of course, with what we saw with COVID, we have a lot of workers working from home now, so they're looking at doing more in terms of promoting that remote workplace. What is digital transformation? You're going to hear that a lot during this program as well too. And it's really, infusing digital technologies within your business, changing your business culture, your processes, your customers' experiences using digital technology. And as a result of these things, you're looking at, we're looking to implement these digital to be more competitive and grow by implementing these digital tools. A couple of statistics from BDC, only in Canada, only about 25% of small, medium-sized businesses are fully automated. So we're looking at, through this program, helping companies to become a little bit more digitally mature, to help them with sales growth, to help them with profitability, and even exporting their business as well too can make a big difference there. I won't go through the CDAP program. Centricity 360 is quite involved with the Boost Your Technology grant, that part of the CDAP program. I think it's fantastic. We're helping a lot of businesses go through that process and developing digital adoption plans. Julian did a fantastic job of introducing the CDAP program. And I'm sure we're going to be sharing our presentations after, and all of the information is online as well too. So I do encourage you as a business to get registered with CDAP. I think it's a great process for you to go through in terms of understanding just through the digital needs assessment alone. This has been a valuable tool for me in terms of understanding where the businesses are at, because we review this right up front. It's a really fast, as Julian had mentioned, fast process to go through to get registered and do the digital needs assessment. And it kicks out this fantastic report that really gauges your business against other businesses across Canada in terms of where you stand as a digitally mature business. And it measures you against a benchmark. It's really has helped me in terms of developing the digital adoption plan, because it goes through 8 areas of your business that I call the operational indicators, or digital operational indicators, where we can assess your business operations, technology, your cybersecurity, how you approach your customers. It's a great report to have and well worth it. So there's value in there and just getting registered and going through this process. I've had many questions in terms of what is a digital advisor. From the perspective of CDAP, we are registered with them. I went through the process, or Centricity went through the process of getting registered. We had to fill out the application, give them an idea of our experience. They have many testimonials that they ask for. They've called partners of mine and customers of mine, to verify the solutions we're providing for over 10 years. I provided them with a lot of business cases as well too, to demonstrate the work that we've done to become certified. The CDAP program really bodes well for our business, because we do give a lot of advice to companies in terms of the direction they should be going with their automated solutions. We look to become or advise companies being vendor neutral. So we look at what's best for the businesses we're consulting for in terms of the solutions that they should be implementing to help their companies get to the next level. So we provide that advice under a code of conduct provided by CDAP. which is great to, help understand where we come in and the work that we do and deliver. So we're a registered advisor in terms of putting together digital adoption plans. A lot of the companies that are registered with CDAP, and there are quite a few of them, I think close to 1,000 different technology advisors or digital advisors you can choose from. They specialize in all types of different forms of marketing and technology, from, like us, innovative marketing solutions, online business management and development, digital transformation, cybersecurity, and those digital advisors are there for you to take advantage in terms of helping your company. The qualifications for a digital advisor, I mean, they're quite lengthy. We go through quite a process. I won't go through all these, but obviously you have to have a pretty good track record in terms of the business and background, right from my experience of working for a number of large software companies to starting my business in 2006, and delivering these types of plans on a regular basis, set us up perfectly for this program. And I think it's fantastic for small, medium-sized businesses to really get involved with it and get a good digital advisor to help them. So I'll leave that for you to look at. I wanted to get into exactly what a digital adoption plan is. It's really a report that advises a business on how to leverage digital marketing, e-commerce, digital business processes to generate business and improve productivity. So within that, the ISED, through the CDAP program, has provided us with a really great tool, and that's the Digital Adoption Plan Guideline. This is available to all the companies that are businesses that register for CDAP. And what it does is it gives us really a great breakdown of everything we're going to provide for the businesses in the digital adoption plan. So it goes through a typical report. So we have an executive summary, a complete current analysis that we do for our clients that goes through their business, a complete understanding of their business. We do a SWOT analysis. We take a look at all of their competitors, their current markets, their business model. And we look at, what are their current challenges? What are some of their key goals in terms of the future of what they want to solve by going digital? And then we do a complete review of their background in terms of their information technology, their accounting solutions, their manufacturing, their POS systems, frontline e-commerce, from soup to nuts in terms of understanding all of their technologies of the business. And then from that, they get a great report of our recommendations in terms of what next steps they should take, included with an implementation roadmap for where they go with their business. So it's a great way to really get a good understanding from the client's perspective of what we're going to be doing, and keeps us on track in terms of what we want to deliver. The report itself, ours are, anywhere between 30-40 pages in terms of the analysis. I won't go through every section in terms of how we analyze it, but what I will do is kind of give you the highlights of what I see as great value that we're delivering as digital advisors. We go through every one of the 8 operational indicators within your business where your business touches technology. So we look at the organization, the operation, the overall strategy of the business, and how digital plays a part, what technologies you're using, how the cybersecurity part of it. That's why I had Mathurin talk today, because we use the checklist from Cybersecure Canada to ensure that we're all on the right page in terms of how important today data security is, cybersecurity, and preventing any type of malicious attacks. And then from a marketing perspective, we look at your business from the customer experience, the products and services you offer, and any of the partners and alliances you have, and how digital affects all of those areas. We provide a complete digital audit, which is tremendous value to your business in terms of looking at everything from a digital marketing perspective, your Google ads, your websites, your competitors' websites, how you compete online, and then a complete list of keywords that you can use to be more competitive with any of the online advertising you're doing. So that's a terrific takeaway that can be used, throughout your business going forward. And then, of course, we make the recommendations and the digital roadmap. So just a couple more questions in terms of, just stepping back, once the digital adoption plan has been completed, it's submitted to ISED through the CDAP program. It takes, I think, approximately 30 days. At least that's what I've experienced in terms of the approval process, in terms of getting things back and approving. And, after that, you can engage with BDC around the interest-free loan. Our company will assist you right through that process. We'll stick by you to make sure that it's accepted and approved, and of course, help you with your business going forward. A few other questions that I've heard: why is the government funding this program? Julian mentioned a number of the objectives of the program, and I agree with them. Can we make today's businesses more competitive through implementing digital technologies? I think it's a great program to get businesses to leapfrog ahead of other companies in terms of using digital tools to be more competitive. So I think from that perspective, it's a great program. How can I use the report? The report basically is a digital roadmap for you going forward. Like I said, you can use it with BDC for the interest-free loan. You can use it to implement a solution with any of the digital advisors going forward to change your business. What's the investment of time? It typically, for us, we're looking at about 4 to 6 weeks. So we do a deep dive. It really depends on the size of your business in terms of how long it takes to complete that. And do you need to have other people involved in your company? Absolutely. I talk to everyone from administration to accounting to frontline sales, every aspect of your business where digital touches. We will meet with those people, and then the leadership team as well too, in terms of understanding where their direction is going. Why is it important? Again, it goes back to some of those objectives where we want to be more competitive, and we want to help companies to be more digitally aware of their business and the productivity gains that they can have by automating processes. So I think that's all I have, and I'll pass it back to Scott to see if there's any questions.
That's fabulous. Thanks, Richard, Mathern, and Julian. Very, very good information. A few questions that have come up. COVID obviously has driven a lot of companies to be online, to get involved in e-commerce where maybe they didn't do it before. And so obviously cybersecurity now becomes a real issue for those people. The whole CDAP program, cybersecurity, everything that we've talked about is really, really valuable information and programs. What is keeping people then from moving forward?
Well,
Okay.
oh yeah, quickly, just gonna. So I know. So we had another webinar, and one data that was shown is that the cost of adopting new technology, and I think that's why CDAP is there. Also, we with the BDC loan is we want to help ease that transition for certain businesses as well. I've been traveling across the country and meeting with businesses for the program, and one thing that comes back a lot is sort of some people say they are tech savvy, but they that understanding of what can be done. It seems sometimes digital adoption can be like a very big thing for a business to take on. So that's why we wanted to, with CDAP, with those digital advisors, like Richard, they have that knowledge of the ecosystem and of the technology and how those technology can benefit the businesses. So there's the things that we know, and the things that we don't know. And the things we don't know, but the things we don't know, sometimes, there is technology, that there's solutions that exist. So that's why those digital advisors are there to really provide that expert advice for businesses and help them better understand how digital adoption can benefit their business.
So what I'm hearing, Julian, really is that the best next step is talk to the advisors like Richard and learn
Exactly.
more about the program, because that will break down the barriers or make people more comfortable with moving forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and sometimes they can seem stuck. Because it can, for a lot of businesses, going digital, implementing automated solutions can be overwhelming. And what we do is coach them in terms of how we can implement it over time, piece by piece, in the right order, in terms of giving the biggest benefit to their business, without overwhelming them. Because it can be overwhelming in terms of systems. And I'll give you an example. Like, I would never advise a company who wants to implement an e-commerce solution to put every single one of their products up right away. We start small. We look at our products that would potentially provide good profit margin, interest to clients, and then potentially even driving traffic into their brick and mortar locations. So there's a step-by-step process. It doesn't have to be all done at once. And I think that that's what the benefit of this program provides.
Yeah, definitely. I'll chime in to echo what Richard just said, and Gillian as well. What we heard was that people like businesses see cybersecurity as something that they don't have expertise to do. But today we have programs. There were no incentives when we started. Today we have many incentives. The best incentive at this point is the financial support to implement these controls with a program, Canadian Digital Adoption Program. And we're seeing more and more businesses coming on board and making sure that they protect their businesses. And the job that Richard, like digital advisors like Richard, are going to do is very great, because they will help you piecemeal your journey to protect your business. So that's what I would add at this point.
I would have to think too that, sorry, I think a lot of people, will have spam filters on their computers and some basic technology. And in a way that probably gives them a false sense of security, because they now think they're protected from everything when they're not.
And there's one thing that I've mentioned previously, and that will not here today, but in other presentations. Sometimes there's simple tools that can help you with, let's say, your newsletter. Well, there's certain cybersecurity aspect that comes with that as well. Like, where are the servers located, for example? I know for the government of Canada, we try to do business mainly with businesses who have servers in Canada for that cybersecurity aspect of things. So there's small details that, I know this product, it seems great, I've heard about it, but there's other component that comes in play with when you're looking at certain digital solution. And that's why experts like Richard, like our digital advisors, are really there to guide businesses. And there's no cost to the business of applying to CDAP. Like I mentioned, it's only 30 minutes to apply. And the work that those digital advisors will do with the business is extremely valuable. It's going to give the business a better understanding of what's their path forward in terms of digital adoption, and in these days, that digital adoption is also their path forward toward growth as well. So it's extremely valuable. And once again, the BDC loan, it's an optional component of the program. So if the business doesn't feel like they're ready to do it right away, they at least they have that digital adoption plan, that knowledge, and that came from the expertise of digital advisors.
I'm aware of the time, so before we close, any final comments from any of you?
Apply.
Apply.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
there's no harm in applying. Like the first step for us, like a digital advisor, is we'll sit down with the prospect or the applicant in the CDAP program, and we'll go through their digital assessment and look through it, and get an idea of where they're at and where they could potentially go to, and have a good conversation about some of their business challenges and some of their key goals. So it's definitely worth the time to apply and go through that process. And ultimately, the digital adoption plan can give them a great go forward roadmap.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Apply. It's easy. Resources are there. Thank you.
That's great. Thanks to each of you, Richard, Mathurin, and Julian, for taking time to be with us, and again, valuable information and a really important program for our members, and for the Milton Chamber members. You'll probably see lots of Richard around town too, so be sure and stop him and talk about the CDAP program. Again, thank you to everyone for tuning in today. It's been a pleasure to host this, and thanks to our panelists. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Take care now. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.